Hello, hello. How are you guys doing? I so sincerely hope you can see and hear me right now because we've had some technical difficulties over here in Egypt. I see you guys saying, "Oh, I love seeing everyone, where everyone's from Italy, from the UK, tuning in from Indiana, Canada, Alberta, Maryland, South Carolina." This is so exciting. Grace, excited to be here. I'm excited that you're here, Greg. Thank you so much. Tamara, it's lovely. Thank you so much for letting me know that you can hear me. I'm going to tell you a little story just briefly. I actually have to pull up my presentation during this. So I'm going to tell you the story because, like, why not? You guys are here. It took me a couple of minutes. So this afternoon, I was planning on doing this webinar from my home. So I have a nice house and, we're in Egypt and it's sunny. I was going to go out on the balcony. It was going to be like all palm trees in the background. It's going to be so lovely. And then our air conditioning decided to start leaking and it was like pouring water out, and it poured water out to the internet box. Like a couple of hours before I was due to do this webinar, the internet box is now fried. I had no internet. Rig this at a co-working space, which I hope is okay. So please tell me if you can see me clearly. I would really like to know that right now. That would be awesome. So while you're letting me know if you can actually see me clearly, I know you can hear me, guys. Hi, Fiona from Florida. Deb says there's no sound. I hope other guys can hear me because other people have said they can hear me. So maybe, Deb, it's your volume. But I'm going to bring up this presentation now because I didn't get a chance to do that before I started. So please chat amongst yourselves. It's a lovely day here in Egypt. I hope it's a lovely day wherever you are there. And we're going to get started soon. So today's webinar is, I really hope you're going to have some good takeaways from this webinar. Because really for me, it's like one of those aha moments when you like first discover, oh my God, this is what's missing. This is what, all the effort, all the hardship, all the late nights, everything that I've been putting in that hasn't quite been working. And why hasn't it quite been working? What am I missing? This is kind of a sort of an accumulation of that. So the is I do have my presentation, which is, pretty good. And we're going to start this soon, but I'm going to come back to you in the chat just to see what's happening with you guys now. So Eric says he can see me clearly. That's awesome. Liliana can hear and see me. Jessica, thumbs up, Jessica. Awesome. Marie, all good here. Sound is clear. Teresa, Tammy says she can't see me. Maybe refresh the page. And yes, there is a moderator in the room. My darling assistant Megan is moderating for me inside the room. It shows as me because that's just how Crowdcast works. So it looks like Michelle Dale is in there. That's not me. I mean, I can see you guys, but I'm not responding right now because I'm talking to you. Tammy Hammond says she still can't see and hear me. Try refreshing. Try turning up the volume. Try doing anything. But I think as most people can see and hear me, I'm going to make a start. So first of all, before I start my presentation, I'm just going to kind of do my induction because I usually do this on webinars. So what's going to happen is I'm going to take you through an online screen share presentation. And then as we go through, you can make comments, and at the end we do Q&A. So if you've got any questions that you want to ask me, even if it's not related to the presentation, it's okay. This is a chance for me to kind of be in front of you guys and be able to help you and support you in any way I can during these webinars because we do them every month. So be sure that you've subscribed to the mailing list, which is at virtualmissfriday.com/academy, to make sure that you get notifications of these free webinars every month. So yeah, so basically what happens is I do this little vocal introduction and then I go into the presentation, we do Q&A at the end, and I answer all your questions. But first of all, I just want to thank you for being here. It means a great deal to me always, for anyone who attends my sessions live, because it's also really helpful for you guys to be in the chat and to share what's going on with you and how the content that I'm teaching is relating to you right now. And it's also really helpful for me as well to be able to see that too. So please use the chat throughout. If you've got a comment, if you've got a question, we've got a moderator here who's going to throw those questions into the question area. And basically, we're all here right now because we care. I care about you. I care about your success. I care about your business. And you care about your success and your business. And you're here to learn something. And I'm here to share my experience with you. So this is what we're going to do now. Awesome that we've got over 1,500 people registered for this webinar. That's super, super cool. So I'm going to go into my presentation right now. As always, if you need any help, just ask the moderator in the room. She's going to show up as me. And then we will take it from there. So I'm just going to start to screen share my presentation right now. It's still loading, but hopefully it will be done shortly. I did open it and then sort of close the window to come back to you guys. So. Where are you? I've lost you. Okay. You still with me? Okay, Tammy, I'm so sorry that you're having technical problems, darling, but I am going to start now, and hopefully you'll be able to sort those out. It's also worth trying resetting your internet box or your internet connection as well, which might help. Okay, we're doing screen share. So hopefully you guys will be able to see my screen share. And Hannah is all good from Guatemala, which is nice. I'm just going to try and bring up comments on my other screen. Okay, cool. You can see it, you can see it. That's awesome. I'm going to make it bigger for you guys. Don't worry, you're not going to be looking at that little tiny presentation throughout the whole thing. I'm going to make it bigger and you should still be able to see me on the screen as well, which I think you can. So, I'm going to go big. Lauren says she can see my screen with a bunch of little boxes. Funnily enough, that's actually what you should be seeing. So all is well. Okay. Hopefully you guys can see this. So I'm going to go into the presentation. If you want to challenge yourselves, you can. Lauren says, I'm in the little down corner. Thank you so much. I'm in the corner of the online room. And just, can you let me know that you can see this presentation? It should be full screen now on your screen. So guys, help me out here. Am I full screen on the presentation now? If you can do that, that would be cool. So awesome. You gotta let me know. Boxes are gone, black on my side. Joseph, that's not what I wanted to hear. Black for me too. Okay, let me see. Okay, I'm gonna try that again. Let's see where we are now. I think it's working now. Except when I go full screen, it's not working. See, we just ride through these technical issues because that's just how I roll. Just 1 second. I'm going to try something else now. See, look. Okay. I'm going to try and present like this because this is what I got to work with. Doesn't work. Yeah, I know. It doesn't want to go full screen. What is up with that? What is up with that? Okay, no issues. Okay, so hopefully I'm going to try this now, but I'm not going to go full screen. I'm just going to leave it like this, and then I'll present like this. Okay? And I think you guys can see it okay. Deb says, technology, love it, hate it. Deb, for sure, you are correct. St. Clair says the volume is really low. I think everyone else can hear me, but I'll move my little microphone up. But I think you guys are okay now, right? Looks great, can see it now. Okay, Paul. Okay, I'm going to start. So, guys, again, chat amongst yourselves. I'm going to get through this content. We've got about an hour, just under an hour, and then I'm going to do Q&As if anyone has anything at the end. So thank you so much, guys, for sticking with me. Blame technology, Eric. And the air conditioner. I do have an air conditioner on, but it's not really working. Like right now, when you're in front of like a lot of people and something's not working. Okay, so I'm going to start. So in this webinar, I'm going to teach you how to start hitting your income goals in your VA business. For those of you who don't know what a VA business is, when I talk about a VA business, it's like a kind of online service business, a freelancer business, any service that you do online, surprisingly quickly without the learning curve. So if anyone wants to learn, say I. And today you'll experience a real huge wake-up call, because that's what it was for me, where you realize how much control you actually have towards achieving your financial goals in your online service business, and the specific actions you need to take to massively increase your productivity, ensuring you stay on track for making daily progress. Joseph said I've just frozen, but the time is still going. So if you guys can let me know. Oh, loads of eyes. Awesome. That's so cool. I love it when I say that and then you guys do that. I'm going to throw some more of those in. Awesome. Fiona, Hannah, Marie, perfecto. Joseph, refresh. Log out and log back in again. Okay, so for those of you who don't, my name is Michelle Dale, and 3 things that I wanted to share about me with you is that I joined the industry, the VA industry, I became a virtual assistant in 2005. And this was a real desire to have personal and professional freedom. So for me, basically what I did is I went cold turkey. I decided to quit my job, sell everything, get a one-way ticket out of the UK. I'm British, for those of you who don't know. And when I arrived in this incredible country, of Egypt at the time, although I left Egypt a couple of years later and then came back like 10 years later, I decided that I did not want to go back to the 9 to 5. I did not want to go back to that lifestyle of the daily grind. I did not want to go back to that lifestyle of having a boss and being told what to do and only having a couple of weeks holiday a year. It just was not for me. So I decided that I was going to start an online business, and I stumbled across virtual assistants, and the rest is history. So I created a multi-6-figure virtual assistant business from scratch, and it really wasn't my aim to go big. All I wanted was some money to travel. This was like my end game or my end goal. But it just quickly turned into more than that. And I think that was because I had such a passion for what I was doing. I absolutely loved it. To me, it was completely like a complete novelty. The fact that I could sit on a computer, earn money and do it on my own and work when I wanted to work and work on my terms and still bring in money. And I became hungry for it. I became hungry to learn more. I loved what I was doing. And it was just like, I didn't want to let that go. And I'm going to talk to you a little bit about that later on in this webinar when we teach the content. So basically now I provide services and I sell products online. I've lived in 7 countries as like a long-term base, but I've traveled to many more. And I'm also a mum, and I have 3 kids as well. And I'm the creator of One Sourcing, which is an alternative VA service, which I kind of developed over my years of experience. And over the years, I've hired more than 70 VAs and worked with more than 100 clients. So in this industry, I do know a little bit about what I'm talking about. That's for those of you who don't know me. For anyone else, you know me, so it's okay. So let's break this down. What we're going to do in this webinar is you're going to learn how to start hitting your financial goals in your VA business using a really simple 4-step process. And it works really, really quickly once you start applying it. You'll find out the real reason why it's been such a struggle to reach your financial goals so far, because there is always that missing element. And I hope that what I'm going to do for you today is help you uncover that missing element. I'm going to help you discover the vital first step that most people miss or don't even know they should be doing when trying to reach. And you'll experience me walking you through live an example of goal altering exercise that can be done in less than an hour, so you can finally start making impressive strides towards realizing your financial goals in your VA business consistently. This is not complicated. I am not reinventing the wheel here with this stuff. I'm going to give you steps that you can take and you can take away from this. So make sure you have a notepad and pen, because this is really, really important. This was the turning point for me when I started to realize what I wasn't doing. It wasn't about what I was doing, because I was totally focused on I'm doing this and I'm doing this and I'm doing this, but I completely eliminated or wasn't even thinking about what was I not doing. And once I discovered it, then really things changed for me. So I'm also going to offer you during this webinar a chance to work with me. And it's going to be towards the end of the training. So I'm going to teach you all the content first, so you've got the free class completely upfront, but there is opportunity to work with me further if you want to stay around for that. And whether or not you get the offer, you'll still get a tremendous amount of value from what I'm going to teach you for free on the webinar today. And this is different from normal webinars, because what I'm going to give you now today is really tried and tested methods that can work for anyone. So whether you're a stay-at-home mom in California or you're a freelance web designer in India, it really doesn't matter. These strategies work for everybody. You'll be guided step by step through the entire process by me. And if you're already doing well and you're already kind of like a little bit further on in your business and you say, well, I'm not quite there, I'm there, but I'm not quite there, then you'll also still be able to take things away from this, which I think are quite valuable to you. So first of all, as always on my webinars, I want to talk about the problem first, so we can identify where it is you're at and what you need to take away from this webinar. So I want to make sure you're in the right place. So let me know in the chat box if any of these resonate with you. And if you want to share stories or anything like that, you can do as well. So you feel like you hit a roadblock where you're seemingly doing all the right things, but not seeing the results. So it's like, I'm working hard, I'm doing the tasks, I'm processing, I've got the knowledge, I'm learning the courses, I'm doing all this stuff, but it's not quite working out for me. This is for you. You want to be able to move past a certain income or client threshold, but for some reason you can't and you don't know why. So you're kind of like stuck in limbo and not knowing how to move forward. Things I'm going to teach you in this class are going to help you with that. And you'd like to reach towards your financial goals, but you don't want to compromise time in your personal life. And this was a big one for me, because I was having children. I've got 3 kids. And I was finding that as I was having kids and I was working more and I was building the business, that I was having less time with my children. And it felt like also I had no time for myself, which can be quite frustrating. So I had to start implementing and making changes in order to claim back my time, even though when seemingly there was none. And this is also for you as well, if you're one of those. Cheryl says freedom is the key, and that's absolutely true. So, does this sound like you? You want to be able to create a decent income without a huge increase in the hours that you work. Of course we do. You want to feel confident that you can reach your income goals in a healthy and sustainable way, because that's always what I teach people to do. Because if you don't have your health, you will not have your business. You will not have the success that you're looking for. You know that it's possible for you because you've seen other people do it and other people be successful and other people start their businesses and other people grow their businesses, but you simply feel like there is something stopping you from creating the level of success that you want. You don't know what that roadblock is, and I really, really hope that during this webinar I can uncover that for you. So if you answered yes, Eric says 2 and 3. Let's have a look. Haven't even started, Mary, but interested in the VA business. That's cool. Was laid off from big financial company after 20 years of service. Do you know, Mary, how many times I have heard that or worked with people who have been laid off from big companies after so many years? It's a lot. You're not alone. You're probably not alone here in this room either. So if anyone wants to give Mary a shout out if they've been in the same situation, please do. Lauren says she'd like to move past my client threshold of 1. Sweetheart. Bless you. Victoria says she's also starting a VA business and needs the confidence to make the leap. Okay, we're going to cover that actually in this webinar as well. So let's move forward. So why should you listen to me? Let's just go through this little interim bit first. And for me, it was all about what I was taught. I had this realization that I was taught how to be unsuccessful. Sorry, but I was. So when we're younger in school, we're taught the harder we work, the harder we study, the harder we practice, the harder we revise. Basically, the more we make ourselves ill and have anxiety and pressure and worry, the better we'll be at school. That was what it was like for me. Okay, so I was always told, work harder, study more, stay up late, do this, revive this, learn this. You know, it was never a fun time for me. And to be honest with you, I left school at 16 with not that great grades. Okay, I only got 1A, and that was in drama. I got 1B, and I think that was business studies. So for me, drama and business studies kind of worked out, but everything else did not, basically. So those methods had the opposite effect on me. And the more I did, the harder I worked, doing what I didn't like, the less results I got. So the more I disliked or resented what I was doing, and then the worse I got at it. Okay. But the thing is, I wasn't consciously aware of that at the time. I wasn't consciously aware that that's what was causing me to not get the results that I needed. So I didn't put two and two together until quite later on in life, when I was also starting to do things that I didn't want to do, and everything seemed like it was being forced. I felt like my whole life was being forced. So one day it really totally clicked. I was running my business like I was doing my schoolwork. And I was always thinking the more hours I put in, the harder I work, the less time I have with my family, the more I drive my health into the depths of despair, the more successful I will be. And for sure, I loved what I was doing way more than history and maths, but I also now had the pressure of doing this for money. So that's where you're like, oh God, you know, like before I was doing it in school and I never had that pressure of having to pay my bills and things like that while I was 12, 13, 14 years old. But suddenly you're doing the same thing and then you have to do it for money. So that puts that added pressure on the top because, you know, if you've got a family to take care of, if you've got people to look after, if you've got to look after yourself, you know, that is a huge added pressure. So I had to make a living and I had to grow the business to support my growing family. And it quickly turned into a stress sandwich. I will not lie to you. I was stressed. I put on so much weight. I was like 40 kilos overweight, at least. I did not get much exercise and I barely even saw the light. And that to me was not a sustainable way to work. So then I realized I wasn't showing up as the person I needed to be in order to reach my goals. Whether those were financial, business related, or personal goals, I wasn't handling this without the stress and with the confidence in what I was doing to get from A to B with ease. And that was a real wake-up call for me. Not being or behaving like the person I needed to behave like in order to be successful. I was not behaving like the successful person. I was behaving like somebody in poverty, in stress, in anxiety, and being told constantly what to do. So how this looks now after I made this discovery. Basically, I get done what needs to be done, and I do it with optimal performance, ensuring that things continue to progress forward. I do not have that same stress sandwich lifestyle that I used to have before I started implementing these things into my life that I'm going to teach you today. I designed a structured approach to escalating income and reaching targets. I realized what was missing all along, and when the penny dropped for me, I was able to immediately make the changes needed in order to succeed on my terms, step into my vision for the future. And there are 4 fundamental keys to the change. You might be doing one or more of them right now. But if you aren't feeling like you're achieving what you want to achieve, all you need to do is find the missing 1 or the missing 2 or the missing 3 and do them. For some of you, all 4 might be missing as well. So what we're looking at is we're going to look at these 4 keys now, and we're going to find what's missing for you, what has not been working for you. And then once you start to implement that missing piece of this puzzle, I believe you will start to see the changes that you want to see. And there's one piece of the puzzle that's really super obvious to me. But there is a quote that I found online. It was an anonymous quote, but it went really well with this whole thing, that the challenge lies in working out what to do rather than the actual task. And I think what happens is we get so bogged down in the specifics of the task and the things that we need to do, and then procrastination sets in, and then we don't do what we think we're supposed to do, and we don't do that, but it's figuring out what to do, but not just the what. There is also a lot more to it. What is one of the 4 keys? Is one of them. We're going to go through them now. So it's your turn to learn what these 4 keys are. And I want to show you how to start hitting your financial goals in your VA business using a simple 4-step process, and to do it pretty quickly. So all you have to do, and this is where you need your pen and your pad and all of that stuff, is to just answer these questions honestly to discover what you're missing. Now, I've had to condense these questions down a lot. When I go in my mentorship, sometimes I ask a lot of questions to people relating to these things, but because we're only on a limited amount of time, I want to keep this webinar ideally to about an hour. We've got half an hour left of our time. So what I want you to do is really start to answer these questions that I'm going to ask you and explain to you really honestly to discover what it is you're missing. And I want you to know that if you have not asked yourself any of these questions, or if you've not considered any of the questions that I am about to share with you, I want you to share that in the chat, because I want to know if you have actually discovered the missing piece during this webinar. It'd be really good for me. So the first thing we have to look at is your why. Okay, so actually I was talking to a friend about this last night. I was in a coffee shop, and we were just kind of hanging out, and we were talking about their business. And I said to this guy, he was saying, I really want to be successful. I really want to move forward. I'm willing to put the work in. I can work really, really hard, but I just don't know what it is. I just don't seem to be moving forward. And the first question I asked him is, why do you want to be successful? And he said, do you know what? I don't know. Maybe I don't have a why. I've never even thought about it. Usually because it's expected of someone, or because that's what everyone else is doing. So it's really, really important that you figure out your why. So the questions I want you to answer for yourself are, why are you trying to reach certain financial goals? If I'm going to explain this to you, a lot of us set these goals, particularly 6 figures. Okay, so for sure I advocate 6 figures in a VA business because I was able to generate 6 figures quite early on in my VA business. But 6 figures is not the key to happiness, by the way. Everyone wants it, but it's not the key to happiness. But in order to be able to reach that financial goal, you've got to know exactly why you want to do that. Why is 10 grand a month so important to you? Why is 15 grand a month so important to you? Why have you set yourself a financial goal to earn 6 figures in a year? What do you know exactly what you're going to spend it on? Do you know exactly where that money is going? Do you know exactly why? Do you have beliefs or resistance to your financial goals that are telling you it's greedy to go after that amount of money? Do you have, and please ask me in the chat if you've got any of these beliefs or these restrictions or resistance, like, oh, I want to earn six figures, but is that greedy? Or am I even capable? Or why do I even want six figures? Is that because that's what everyone else is wanting? You know, it's like, what is the purpose behind this? The reason I became so successful so early on is because there was absolutely no way on this earth I wanted to go back to the UK, back to my 9 to 5 job, back to my salaried life, back to where I can only have 2 weeks or 3 weeks of freedom a year. That became a must for me. What is your must? Why is your specific financial goal that you have set for yourself a must? Why must you do it? And again, if you can't answer these, this is going to be a problem. You need to answer these. Andy says, not sure. I want six figures, just enough to make ends meet and have a little bit extra. Okay, that's fine. But is that exciting? You know, is the idea of just making ends meet exciting for you? Does it become a must? No, it becomes like, oh, well, I've got to work all this time, and you know, all I'm going to be doing is making six figures, and then all I'm doing is paying my bills with it. That doesn't excite me. I don't know if it excites you, but maybe you're setting your goals a little bit too low. Abby says 7 or 8 would be better, for sure. So why does it matter to you? So when you set your financial goals, why do they matter to you? What are you spending that money on? And it's not just that. It's, are you going to be just doing this mundane, mediocre stuff with it? Or are you actually going to be gaining something out of life? I don't think anyone's life goal is to just make ends meet. And what we do is we set goals to the point where we just make ends meet. That's not exciting enough. That's not a big enough why. Why do you want to earn six figures? So I can pay my bills. Yay. No, it's like, let's extend it. Let's give ourselves a really good reason why we got to earn this money. And don't say, why are you restricting yourself? This is another why. Why are you restricting yourself to just making ends meet and then having a little bit extra? Question yourself on that. Is it because you don't feel you have the confidence to be able to get any further? Is it because you don't feel you can get any further than that? Is it because you think you're going to be greedy if you do, or it's not godly, or if it's, you know, like, there are a million things that we can come up with. You have to question yourself. This is your job now, to really, really question about your why. Marie says to travel, pay off debt, freedom time with family and friends. That's a lovely why. That's a real good why. Victoria says, leave London, enjoy my life with my kids, actually see them, of course. Like you, not to put up with 25 days holiday a year, which sucks. Greg says it's okay to recommend here, start with Why by Simon Sinek. I love Simon Sinek, Greg. He is a really, really good guy. I've watched a lot of his videos. And yeah, I didn't actually know he had a book. That must be a book, right? Start with the why. Vivian says freedom. Vivian, you've got to be more specific about the freedom. Like, what does that freedom mean to you specifically? Eric says to support my horrid through law school, to afford investing in my passion of to have a, okay, I'm not sure what that is, but investing in your passion is awesome, by the way. So guys, yes, you've got to find your why. If you cannot find your why and your must, please understand that this word is very important. It's why it's in inverted commas, must. Why must this happen for you? If it's just to make ends meet, it doesn't become a must. That's not a real must. That is just getting by. That's just living life. Lauren says she doesn't think it's possible for her to make six figures. She's never really known anyone who wasn't in poverty or just a little bit better. So I have no models for that looks like. Okay, so this is a really good point, Lauren. if you've had no role models or no support or no people who are telling you that this is possible, you have to go seek it. So we're going to talk about this on the next slide, actually, or the one after. We're going to talk about this in this moment, but that is a real good point. And it's really good that you've been able to identify that, because that is a pure belief system. Vivian wants financial freedom. Eric says he's supporting his girlfriend. Okay, if you love your girlfriends, Eric, then that's a really good cause. Elizabeth says to pay our student loans and be able to travel. That. Okay, so we've got a lot of people here in the same boat. Nina has a lot of whys. Won't be enough, determined enough, and I think my whys are more than enough, and that's good. As long as you believe that they're more than enough, that's important. So make sure that you can really thoroughly answer these questions, and when you answer these questions, you've got to be excited about the responses. If you do not feel excited about the responses, then you know you haven't found what truly matters to you, and you haven't found your must. So you've got to find that. You've got to find that in order to start achieving your financial goals. Let's move on. The who. This is a big one, okay? For those of you who are paying attention to this, this is the one which most people are missing. It's the one which takes the longest to click into place. Who is the person I need to be? So if you are not successful right now financially, that's because the person who you are and the person who you are showing up as is not a financially successful person. So we have to fix that. We have to remedy that. So your behaviors and your habits begin to reflect a financially successful person, particularly your behaviors, your attitude, the way you show up in the world. If the behavior and the attitude and the habits of showing up in the world do not reflect the same habits as a financially successful person, that's something you need to fix. Okay, the reason I'm doing all these weird hand gestures and talking like this is because I want to drive this home so much, because this is the biggest one out of all of these four. This is the one that people struggle with the most. So you've got to ask yourself, who is the person you need to be? I realized this once when I was trying to lose weight. I've lost 35 kilos in weight, and I was dieting, doing all kinds of diets and doing all kinds of things to try and lose this weight. It wasn't working. And then one day I just had the realization that I wasn't being the person who was not skinny, but normal weight. I didn't have the behaviors of a person that was a normal weight. I never did any exercise. I didn't eat right. I never had the behaviors of a healthy. And that is why I wasn't healthy. No matter how hard I tried, no matter what diet I went on, I was looking for the easy way. I was not looking to change my behaviors. It was always like, I'll lose the weight and then I'll be healthy and then I'll go to the gym. No, you got to start behaving and acting today as if you are that person who is financially successful. So who is the person you need to be? Who is the person that you can look to or aspire to, whether it be in your immediate circle? I'm not from an entrepreneurial family at all. Nobody in my family has ever had their own business. I'm like the first person. My parents later on had their own business, and my stepdad had his own business, but the influence from me on that side came sort of later on. But for me, it's like as I was growing up as a child in school and things like that, nobody in my family had their own business. So I'm not from an entrepreneurial family, but now I'm entrepreneurial. Now I teach my kids how to be entrepreneurial, because I knew I had to step into the entrepreneur if I was going to actually make my business a success. I couldn't do it with my old mentality and my old upbringing and my old thought patterns. So who is the person that has achieved these goals that you can aspire to and that you can look to? whether it's somebody online, whether it's me, whether it's somebody in your family, you've got to hang out with those people. You've got to spend time with those people, because those are the people who are going to show you what your behaviors need to be like in order to be successful. So who has the habits that you need to adopt, and what are those habits to be financially successful? So, I mean, I would say for the person in this room that has confidence issues, do you think financially successful people lack a lot of confidence? Some of them do, but you know what? They go out there and do it anyway. I never forget, I was in Portugal a couple of years ago, and I was talking to Pat Flynn. For those of you who don't know Pat Flynn, he's from Smart Passive Income. I actually went out and had dinner with him. And a couple of other people that were there. We were all speakers at this conference, Digital Nomad Conference. And he really, really lacked confidence, okay? But he didn't let that get the better of him. He was still going out. He was still doing public speaking. He still put himself in front of people. So he started to literally force himself to do the habits and the behaviors of people who were successful public speakers. And lo and behold, became a successful public speaker. He was also a very successful entrepreneur. So you've got to stop telling yourself this sob story of I'm not this, and I'm not this, and I'm not confident, and I'm not clever enough, and I'm not pretty enough, and I'm not this and this and this. And you've got to start telling yourself that you are. You are enough. And you've got to start behaving like you are enough. Because if you do not do this, then you will never be enough. Never be enough to get those clients. Never be enough to reach those financial goals. If you don't start stepping into who you need to be, to that person who is financially successful, and you start adopting the behaviors of that person who is financially successful, you will find it a real massive uphill struggle, piece by piece, by moment, by year even, to actually get to where you want to be. Step it up. Step up. This is a real big one for you guys. Karen says, I have a family member who has his own business, is very successful, but I want to be like him. I would rather have less money and be a better kind of person. Okay, so Karen, there's something I want to say about that. He is not a successful person. He might be financially successful, but if you can't do it in the ways and means that allow you to really be that person that you want to be, then to me, that's not success. To me, success is if you can show up in the world as yourself, but adopting the behaviors and the habits of financially successful people, the confidence, the drive, the determination, the enthusiasm, doing what it takes, basically. And I would say, Karen, that you might be holding on to a belief, and this might be applicable to other people as well, and this is why I'm singling this out. You might be holding on to a belief that success means you might be a bad person or an unkind person. And when you hold on to a belief like that, and you don't ever want to be an unkind person, that can actually prevent you from moving forward and achieving what you want to achieve. That single belief of, I want success, but the people I know who are successful are not kind, that gives you a complete stalemate. You're in a complete stalemate with that one. No way forward out of it unless you change your belief system. So you start moving away from the family member who's financially successful, and you say, no, I don't want to be financially successful that way, using their habits, using their methods. I want to do it in such a way that I can use habits and methods of people who aren't that way. And believe me, I'm financially successful, but I like to think I'm also a kind and good person and a giving person and a caring person as well. So my belief system doesn't tell me that I have to be a nasty person in order to be successful. My belief system tells me that the more successful I can be, the more people I can help. So you've got to adopt the right kind of beliefs and thought patterns and the right kind of habits. And then you've got to really recognize those beliefs that are causing you to have that resistance to being successful as well, particularly if you see other people around you who are not resonating with you in their success. Lauren says, funnily enough, a couple of entrepreneurs I've known were kind of sleazy, used car and door-to-door sales, and yeah. So these are the people you want to avoid modeling. You want to start to model entrepreneurs and start to look for entrepreneurs who are successful in the space that you want to be in, have that same nasty attitude. And there are many. You just simply have to find them. Karen says, this makes sense. Thank you. You're welcome. So I'm going to move on from the who now, because we've not got a lot of time left. I'm going to go on to the what. So what is missing from your daily routine? This is a big one as well. This is a lot to do with the who. So when I was doing my who, I was thinking to myself, okay, who do I want to be personally, professionally, financially, in all these goals? And I started to look at my behaviors, and I started to look at the behaviors of the successful person. And I started to say, what do I need to start doing differently? One of the things was I've got to start getting up earlier. I've got to stop procrastinating. I've got to stop making excuses. I've got to stop. So I started journaling. I started meditating. I started doing visualization, creative visualization every day for like 10 minutes. And it really, those patterns instilled in me this kind of discipline that wasn't there before towards achieving success. So I started to create these daily routines and these daily habits of things that successful people did. Good successful people, kind successful people. You can look at entrepreneurs online. There are many. I watch a lot of YouTube videos from Jack Canfield, Asaraf, and Paul Shealy. I started listening to his Paraliminals. I look at Carl Harvey and all these kind of successful entrepreneurs who are doing it from a place of love rather than a place of greed. Do I ever listen to what Donald Trump says? No, never, ever, ever. He's probably like financially successful, rich, famous, president of the United States of America. Would I ever listen to his ways of achieving financial success? No. Would I ever follow his habits? No. But I find the people that really I see care about the world and care about their community and are still successful in it. And I like to adopt daily routines from those people, whether it be physical activity, exercise. Tony Robbins does like an hour of exercise every day. People do paraliminals, meditation, visualizations, journaling, big one, reviewing goals every day. You know, everyone who I've come across does these things like it's a religion. And I realized, am I doing this stuff like a religion? No, I'm not. So I need to change my behavior because they're doing that and they're successful, and I need to change my behavior in order to be successful. So this is something that you need to do. Lauren says, FYI, Donald DJT is none of those things. I don't know. Personally, I wouldn't want to have a cup of tea with him. That's just how I feel. So what is missing from your skill set? This is another thing to look at. So look at your daily routine, your daily habits. Are you visualizing? Are you journaling? Are you reviewing your goals every day? Are you pumping yourself up and being motivated? Are you setting yourself to-do lists every day of things that are going to move your business forward? Are you doing it? If you're not, then you're not doing the what. So what's missing from your routine? What's missing from your skill set? Is there anything that you need to learn? Review. Start thinking to yourself, what do I need to learn? How can I learn it? Can I watch YouTube videos today? Can I take a course today? Can I follow that program today that I bought a year ago and haven't even looked at? You know, you've got to be on board with all this stuff. And what do you need to do in order to step in to achieving your financial goals? Because what I'm telling you in this is that you can change your habits and your behaviors today, right now, that become and move you in line with your financial goals. And the moment that you do that, the moment that you say, stop, I am not going to procrastinate on this anymore. I am not going to make excuses anymore. I'm going to show up as that successful person. And then you say, what does a successful day? What does the successful person have on their skill set every day to be able to do this job or run this business or anything like that? So what do you need to be doing in order to step into your financial goals today? You can literally make the start today. Your financial goals are not that far away unless you want them to be. The quicker you change your behaviors and your habits, the quicker you will find you reach where you need to be. It happened to me. Believe me. And it's not just me, it's happened to a lot of people, entrepreneurs all over the world who are also teaching self-development, personal development, business growth will tell you the same thing. Last point is the where. So I want to ask you something. This is probably the biggest one. Where is your plan? Are you winging it? Are you just hoping for the best here? Where is your plan of how you're going to reach your financial goals? And yes, I love the Joseph Campbell quote, I think it was, or maybe it's not Joseph Campbell, but it was like, you don't need to see the whole staircase, you only need to see the first step. I saw it on a Joseph Campbell video. And that's so true. Still need to have a basic reverse engineered plan which gets you from A to B. Whether you decide to make that plan up yourself and sit down and write it, whether you follow somebody else's plan, doesn't matter what it is, you need some kind of a plan to reach your financial goals. Best thing to do is reverse engineer your financial goals. I did this. I created a program where I reverse engineer how to reach six figures over basically a 12-month course or a 12-part course. Some people are doing it quicker than 12 months. It really depends on you, but there are like 12 steps in that. So you don't even have to have like this massive business plan or this massive kind of like, projections and finances and things like that. I've never done anything like that. I simply know roughly the steps that I need to do every month or every week or every year, and I move forward and I do them. So where is your plan? Where are your means? Have you got the means to be able to do this? Okay, you need to start figuring out your schedule, your time. Okay, if you're a busy mom, I understand. I have 3 children myself. So I know all about busy. My first couple of kids were born 15 months apart. So I had a little toddler. And then they were growing up together. And then I introduced another child in when my youngest was 5. So I know all about working. And the whole time, my business alone was sustaining the family. And I could have made a lot of excuses back then about the fact that I've got kids and the fact that I've got a family and the fact that, and there's so many things, but I decided not to. I decided to find the means, find the time, find the energy, find the momentum, find the drive to do what needed to be done. So where is your means? How can you accumulate more? Do you need a babysitter? Do you need to bring in a cleaner? Where can you get that hour? Where can you grab that time? Okay, really, really important. And also, where do you need to be? One of the biggest blocks that happened to me was my location. I knew that being in England and living in this kind of grey country where a lot of people were quite miserable and unhappy with their lives and their jobs and not enough money financially and things like that, it was not serving me being there. As soon as I moved out and I was in a country 365 days a year, it was really cheap to live. I was relaxed. I didn't feel that same pressure and anxiety that the Western world kind of taught me, or I grew up within the Western world. Then for me, a lot of myself changed. I became a much happier, brighter, more optimistic person. So where do you need to be in order to feel that optimism? I'm not suggesting that you change countries like I did, but where can you work that helps you to feel optimistic? I've worked with a lot of people who are sort of like working from home and working from their bedrooms and things like that. And I say to people, why are you doing that? Oh, well, it's the only place I've got to work. No, it's not. If you live by the beach, go out and work from a cafe by the ocean. If you live in a city, go to a really nice kind of restaurant or bar or something like that. Or a really nice co-working space where you can kind of sit down in a really beautiful environment. You've got to feel your way into your financial goals. It's really, really important to feel like you're in a sort of space which is conducive to productivity and creativity as well. So whether that be you choosing to go and work from Starbucks instead of a tiny little kitchen table in a tiny little kitchen, or whether that into a co-working space, or work from the beach, or even work from a cocktail bar and order a cocktail. Hey, yeah, I do it sometimes too. Whatever it is, find that environment that makes you feel like you've already made it, like you're creative and you're productive and you're happy. And this is what you're working for. So you can work from beautiful environments like the one that you decide to go into. You do not need to suffer where you're working in order to be able to be successful. It's not about, oh, I'll do that when. Karen says she loves Joseph Campbell. Me too, Karen. He's awesome. Lauren says, my plan is a spreadsheet in my G Drive. I just can't seem to follow it. I'm not sure where the disconnect is. Yeah, that is a real big one. And there definitely is a disconnect. There's something that is preventing you from moving forward. I think, Lauren, that there's some sort of belief linked to that. But that's something that you and I would need to explore in a little bit more detail on our own, I think. Cheryl says, me too, my own disconnect or I get lost, find the energy drive. Yeah, there is a lot of people who are in that same boat, and it's really hard sometimes to find the disconnect on your own. You need like an outside perspective. You need someone else to look at all this stuff and say, well, do you know what? This is where I think there is a Marie says, on the beach. I was working with them from the beach today, actually. Lauren says she loves working from a car parked in one of the parks. Really? That is cool. I've never heard of that before. Andy, I changed my horizon at first to step to thinking and acting differently. That's perfect. Lauren says hard on the day's plan. Okay, cool. So those were the 4 steps. So let's recap on everything we learned today, because we are coming to the top of the hour. So the first thing is you've got to make sure you have a good enough reason as to why you must achieve your financial goals, okay? You've got to feel excited about those goals. It's really, really important. The second thing is you want to make sure you understand who the person is you need to be and start behaving in that way now. Your behaviors will shape your success, will shape the outcome of what you are. If you're a wallflower, not many clients want to work with a wallflower. They want to work with someone who's confident that they're able to do the job. So what behavior adopt in order to start moving forward? What new habits do you need in your daily routine? And look at what's missing to bridge the gaps, and look at where you can get a solid plan in place for your progress, and then clearly define where you need to be personally, professionally, and financially to fulfill it. These are really the 4 keys. And if you feel like you've been doing all of them, I want to hear from it. I want to hear you in the chat room that you say, yeah, I've been doing all of these. If you have been doing all of these, we're going to have a couple of people in here like Lauren who are basically saying, I'm doing all of these things, but maybe I'm not quite showing up, or something's not working, or I can't seem to stay motivated, or I can't seem to reach the end, or I can't seem to keep doing it. You know, it's that a lot of people will think it's a lack of discipline, but it's not. There should never be any need to do like massive discipline. If you are motivated enough, the discipline will follow. Marie says, so jealous, Michelle, you're working on the beach. I do work from the beach. I would say probably at least 3 or 4 days a week I go to the beach and I work. And I watch the kite surfers, because we've got it's a big kite surfing community here. So I go out onto the beach and I watch the kite surfers, which is pretty cool. And I find that really therapeutic and really nice. And it's with my laptop and kind of have this scene in the background of all these beautiful colors and kites and people jumping up in the air and flying. And it's really, really nice. So yeah. I like the suggested workspaces. Yeah, I'm in a co-working space right now, actually, by the way. So I just thought I'd share that. I don't even know if you guys can still see me, but I'm going to keep going. So now you have a choice. Choice number 1 is to take what you've learned and apply it yourself. Or choice number 2, and some might say this is the smart choice, is to let me help you. So as promised, I suggested to you that I was going to offer you a chance to work with me, and that's what I'm going to go into now. So I'm just going to do this quickly before Q&A. So if you do have questions, you can start adding those questions in, and I'll get to those as quickly as possible. I am on a very restricted time on Crowdcast, so make sure you get your questions in before I finish the end of this section where I'm going to talk about how we can work it together. So I've created something called the One Sourcing Plan, which is a specific package to start achieving six figures. And I did touch on it inside that presentation where I talked about my 12-month plan. So first of all, my moderator is messaging me. I'm going to just reply, 1 second. Because it's quite important. And I do these things to her all the time where she needs important things and I've not done it. But, okay, so I'm just going to reply back to her now. Okay, so what I'm going to do is share with you an overview of what my plan is to help you achieve your financial goals. And I've got some things that I'm throwing in today which I've never done before. So what I want to do is help you pursue and achieve your financial goals with one clear direction without wasting valuable time and resources on other dead ends. So a lot of people come to me and say that they've done this course and this course and this course and they haven't achieved the kind of success they want. So I wanted to help people with a really clear, guided, step-by-step plan in developing an immaculate, streamlined, purposeful online service business. And what that means is you can scale to six figures and beyond without all the guesswork, and the hard work is eliminated. So you won't have to invest in incredibly over years into getting it right, and you'll be able to start reaching your goals from the get-go. So here is how it works. This is a 12-month program, which I'm going to guide you through. Now, I say it's 12 months, but actually people are doing it much quicker than 12 months. So I've decided to change this to a 12-part program, because what I did is I started teaching this as a 12-month program. And a lot of people were saying, right, I've done this. I want to move on. I want to move on. So I'm now going to do it as a 12-part program rather than 12 months. So you can take this at your own pace. But for me, 12 months is a doable, achievable time frame in order to complete this program and get to where you need to be. So I'll guide you through my exact plan for achieving six figures or any other financial goal. So I'm on a multi-six figure business now, but obviously like earning your first six figures is really, really important. So you'll have a fully done for you process, including all the training materials, which are very, very extensive. This includes all of my programs and courses that I've ever created, and that you can implement immediately, and you can proceed at your own pace. So you'll also have the option to get your online presence built for you as part of the package if you don't have one already. So there is really no excuse for you to not be moving forward so quickly with this. So part one is, and you'll have a detailed core 12-month plan indicating how to generate sizable income with an online service business, providing some kind of service. And it's also created by one of the #1 virtual assistant experts in the world. And for those of you who don't know, this happened very recently to me, but the UK Society of Virtual Assistants contacted me and basically said, we want to feature you as one of our approved recommended trainers. And they did a survey to all of their members of this society. And the survey came back that my training courses produced the top earners, so they had the highest average income out of all the other trainers and the other people who are doing VA courses, and the highest number of clients as well. So if you're a little bit concerned about what do I invest in, who do I go to, who do I learn from, all I can say is the proof is in the pudding. That was an independent survey. I completely had no idea that they were doing it until they told me the outcome. But my students in my academy achieved the highest average income and the highest number of clients as well. So this is a good investment. Then there is a one-on-one consultation with me, which basically we're going to look at how to tailor this plan to suit your specific requirements and pinpoint the steps to take in order to be able to achieve what you need to achieve with this 12-part plan. It's 12 steps. And even if you're working a full-time job, even if you're a full-time mom, even if you've got commitments, you can still do this. The next thing is my One Sourcing Facebook group. So you'll have the one-on-one support, you'll have email support, but you'll also have the support of my Facebook group, which is a private Facebook group. So you'll be able to access the other people who have taken the course, other people who are already on their path, other people who are achieving the success that you want to achieve. And that is a lovely support network to have. And also a lot of the people in my Facebook group also hire other VAs within that group as well. So actually whole One Sourcing teams have been built through that group. Then we have part 4, which is the group calls. So every month ongoing, even beyond the program, these never end. You will have the opportunity to have a coaching video call every month with me non-stop. So there is nothing else to pay other than the fee for the course. And then you still get these ongoing. I do not leave any man or woman behind when I do my training and my teaching. So I'm with you throughout the whole growth process of your business. You can come and join these group calls, ask me questions. I can help with roadblocks. I can help you with the challenges. We share a lot of triumphs as well. For those of you who've ever been on one of our One Sourcing calls, in mind-blowing. She's always got, massive success stories to share. And she was one of my first students on my actual first training course. So this is something that happens over years, because my first training course was in 2011 and Martha's still showing up to those calls. So you'll get the support from the community, plus your web presence built if you don't have a web presence. If you're like, oh my God, yeah, I want to start this course, but I just don't have a web presence right now, don't worry, we've got you covered. We will build that for you as part of the course. Then there is all of my training materials. So I mentioned this before, you will get all of my digital training programs, the freelancer, the supporter, the entrepreneur, the consultant, and the business program as well. So there is no excuse that you do not have appropriate skills training or knowledge or anything else for you to not be moving forward in the way that you need to. And there will literally be no further investment required by you to go ahead and move forward. So you can just literally follow this one path and it will give you everything that you need in order to be a successful VA moving towards a 6-figure VA business. So this is unique because unlike most courses that just tell you what to do, you're getting a completely fully supported, tried and tested 6-figure system beside you all the way. What this means to you is you'll save hundreds of hours on trial and error and planning this all yourself. And it also means you'll skip the guesswork and go straight to a proven strategy. It's my strategy that I've used and myself, and I still use myself, and I keep replicating throughout. There's a lot of VAs doing training out there who don't still actively work with clients or have a client base. I still actively work with clients and have a client base. I'm not 100% on my training. My business is divided now. So this is what makes my training really awesome, because all the time when I update something in my business, when I make a change, I update my programs to reflect that change as well. When I find something is working better, when I find that I was more efficient with a client, many things, this is what works. So it's about never struggling with knowing what to do and what not to do to reach that 6-figure income. And picture this, you have everything you could possibly need to start growing and scaling your business, and you're able to successfully execute a plan of action with full support from someone who's done it. So you see the results, you achieve your goals, and you feel incredible at the end of it. It's what everybody wants, and it's what I want for you. So the impact of this, it will provide you with very profitable business, build your authority, help you secure those long-term clients. Have a clearly defined, tailored, step-by-step plan that's from me directly. You will not be able to get this plan anywhere else because it's designed by me and learnt by me over my 14 years of experience in this industry as a digital nomad. So there's no more struggling trying to determine how to reach your 6 figures in your business. You can focus your time and energy on knowing that you're doing something that works. And this is the most direct path to achieving 6 figures. And in fact, just 3 years into officially launching my own business, I was generating $19,000 a month. Less than 3 years later, I was generating $32,000 a month, just providing VA services, nothing else, to multiple clients. And then after developing One Sourcing, I made over $100,000 a year just from one client. So this is the work smarter model. It's not about killing yourself over billable time and billable hours. It's about working smarter, going after the right targets with the right packages, with the right offerings. And you can check out my real invoice reports, because I'm not just you know, sharing this as a general thing. I actually proved it. I printed off my invoice reports for those years and those periods, and they're on virtualmissfriday.com/academy upgrade /0 to 6. Okay, so your value today. So normally this for like 10 grand normally, and people have paid that in the past to basically get all of my training. That's not what I'm going to be selling it to you for today. So as well as all my academy programs, you'll have instant access to my private members area, my one sourcing group, and you're getting my complete 12-month step-by-step action plan. So normally the value of this would be like 10,497. Sorry, but that's not what we're doing. I'm going to share with you the price in a second, but I also want to share with you, first of all, what this investment could do for you. So this is just some examples of comments and feedback that we've had from people on 0 to 6. So I've been so impressed with Michelle's course so far. I'd recommend it to anyone in the industry. I was blown away by the value I got from the one-on-one meeting, and being able to access all of the different programs for reference has been truly valuable as well. I met Michelle for my one-on-one, made some changes to my services, and ran with some of the marketing advice she'd given. And before I knew it, I doubled my income with my new clients and new rates over the following 3 months. I've been able to sell each of the packages I'm now offering to clients. So I guess you could say that my testing phase of my services is complete and has proven that these are the services that my ideal client is looking for and needs. And this is what we cover in our one-on-one. So I'm definitely on track for hitting that 200K annual revenue goal I have set for myself at the beginning of the 0 to 6 figure course. I'm at 125K now, still have 6 months left to make it happen, and I'm super optimistic. So as you can imagine, I'm incredibly busy with onboarding my new clients and new team members, but haven't stopped thinking and continuing business growth and keeping this momentum going. That was from Mary. Mary did a phenomenal job. She literally just took on board everything we discussed, everything I told her to do, and she ran with it. And that was the result, and that was the outcome. Tatiana said, Michelle can create magic with her brain in a few minutes. She brought me from a state of confusion into one of clarity and profound insight. Highly recommend her if you want to unlock the mind to create opportunities. And Samara said, the program is really amazing. Month 1 and 2 has really helped me stay focused. Everything is laid out nicely. Step-by-step guidance is great, mainly because I don't like getting overwhelmed, and it helped me stay focused one step at a time rather than being all over the place, and I can see my vision come to life. So your special deal today is not 10,500 because I want to thank you for attending this webinar. I want to give you instant access to everything for $3,997, and there are payment plan options that you can pay up over 2 years. Okay, so if you want to, if you've not got the funds to pay up front, you can make that investment and do it over the course of 2 years. So your monthly payments are very, very low. And during those 2 years, you get the full support and beyond those 2 years. But I'm also going to offer you a bonus session based on everything that we talked about today in the webinar. So when you sign up on 0 to 6, you'll also have the option to have a complimentary private induction session with me, where I'm going to go through with you the answers to your questions on the why, who, what, and where. And we're going to start looking specifically at uncovering what the issue is in you moving forward with those right now, because we've had a few people in here basically saying, oh, I know what to do, I've kind of planned it out, but I'm not sure why I'm not doing it. This is what we need to work on, because this is like going to be the big breakthrough for you. So we'll go through it all. We'll figure out what it is and who you need to step into to be able to be the person that you need to be. And remember, the foundation of success is the most important part of the process, and that is your foundation. So you're going to get a one-on-one extra session with me for that. And not only that, for the first 3 new members who sign up and pay one time in full, I'm going to be giving you my mentorship program for free. It's a £2,997 mentorship program, £3,000 mentorship program. It's 4 months, depending on how you want to do it yourself, intensive mentorship, one-on-one sessions with me, but it's only available to the first 3 people who sign up at $3,997. So if you want all of those things included, be the first to jump in at $3,997. The first 3 people will get my mentorship program free, my one-on-one mentorship program. And that probably has seen most of the biggest breakthroughs. So existing members, if you already have any of my programs and courses, you will get a discount. So contact us on support@virtualmissfriday. Get registered now. You'll save over 6.5 grand. Plus, you'll get all those other bonuses. And this is the lowest price you'll ever get this program for. Your results could be things like the things that I've helped people do since 2011 is quit their jobs, buy homes, become stay-at-home mums, double, triple, and quadruple their income in very short periods of time, grow their business to 6 figures, travel the world, emigrate, become location independent. I've also helped the clients I work with on the service side of my business, and this is what I teach in my training programs, how to go from working all hours to just an hour a day, to grow their business into $1 million business, have boundless time with their kids and to themselves, create $1,000 in monthly recurring income, and generate sales online when previously they had no luck. So if you do the same for your clients, you're going to have access to all of the training programs and the methods that I use for my clients, so you can help them achieve these same results that we've been doing for Virtual Miss Friday. So now it's Q&A time. So for those of you who want to jump on board, there is a green button at the bottom of the screen. It's your time now to really think about what you want to achieve and how you're going to achieve it. And remember, you need a plan, and I've got the plan, and I've got the support, and I've got the encouragement, and I've got the knowledge, and I've got the know-how, and I've got the care and the time to be able to take you through this journey. It's entirely up to you now what you decide to do. So I'm going to come out of this. I'm going to come out of screen sharing, and hopefully you can see me on the camera, and I'm going to go into Q&A now. So we've got a really, really short period of time for me to be able to get through this. So I'm going to answer as many questions as I can. So sorry if I get cut off, because sometimes Crowdcast does that, but I'm going to get through as many questions as I can. Guys, I hope you enjoyed that webinar. I hope you found it useful. I really, really hope you got some takeaways from it. Marie says she's jealous from working on the beach. So awesome. Lauren said, worry about getting sand in my laptop. Don't put your laptop in the sand. That's the put the laptop on the table. I don't like literally work on the sand on the beach. I usually work from like cafes and bars that are sort of in front of the beach. But I do like watching my kite surfers doing their little tricks. So what are we on now? Paula says, great session. Perfect, Paula. I'm going to see if I can get through some questions here. So can you tell me the time in Indian time? Hopefully you're already here, Krishnandu. Will there be a recap of this webinar class available after it's gone live or possibly on the weekend? Sally will not be able to attend live. Yeah, we've already answered that one. So there is a replay. If you want to watch the replay of this class again, you can literally just come back to this link. Okay, that's that one. I'm determined to make my idea about starting a VA business a success, but I'm not an expert about anything. I haven't yet finished high school. I didn't finish any significant training. Of course, that could be an asset for me. And I only have 2 brief VA gigs on Upwork regarding some copy-paste work. I'm willing to learn at all times, anything what I need and when I need to do it. When I need to. What do I need to know more of, or do you have any tips for me? So first of all, Nina, I left school at 16. I did manage to get some GCSEs, but you know, I can't say that they were that helpful. I started my business at 23. So technically, I have not had an actual real job since starting my business. I knew nothing about starting this business when I started. I just literally gave it my all and put everything that I had into it, into focusing really on what I need to do. But what I teach now, what I help people now, is to really find what is good for them to do in a service business, okay? So it's not a one-size-fits-all thing. So Nina, you and I would need to get on that one-on-one session. You would need to do the homework in the first month of the program, which tells me, so I have this kind of homework, which tells me everything about you that I need to know in order to pinpoint, okay, Nina, this is what you need to be doing. This is what you need to be learning. Go here, do this, put this together. So it's a very, very personal, individual thing for everybody. But for somebody like you, generalism might be a good way to go. So there's two different ways to go in VA businesses. It's generalist or specialist. And generalism might be a good way for you to go, to start feeling around, to start seeing what you like, what you don't like, and start creating a packages from there. But if you join the 0 to 6, and then we have month 1 and 2, by the second month, you'll know exactly what you need to be doing, because I would have guided you through everything. I would have done it. and I would know exactly where in my training you need to go in order to be able to accomplish what you need to accomplish. So my tips for you is try to go generalist. Don't let anything hold you back. It does not matter that you have not finished high school. It does not matter anything that you do not feel like you're in a place that you need to be in, because you can get to where you need to be. It doesn't matter where you're starting from. That's the beauty about this industry. It's the wonderful thing about this industry. And that's what I love about the diversity of the people that I work with. Some people have been in corporate jobs, high-powered executive PAs for 25, 30 years. And other people are like 20 years old, just starting, don't know what they're doing yet, you know, need something to work on. So for me, find a mentor, find somebody who you aspire to. Go to my Academy Basics, because I've got in there, I've got free training videos, 6 free training videos. So you can go to virtualmissfinder.com/academy, and you can look at all my free training videos in there and see what resonates with you, see what might seem good to you, and then take it from there. Karen says, just starting up in a VA, having got your freelancer program. And of course, I'm doing the boutique website business. So excited to get rolling. Karen, I know, I'm absolutely loving the boutique website course, and we have got it in like half an hour. So I'm doing another class after this for my boutique website course. So Karen, that's awesome. Lauren says, how do you keep the habits you need to adopt to be successful in front of your mind? I usually fall off after about 3 weeks as other things pile up. You've got to prioritize it, Lauren. That is the only way. If you were thirsty, you'd prioritize getting a drink as soon as possible. You've got to prioritize those habits as soon as possible. I use an app called Productive. It is an app that I've got on my phone, and I put in there all of my habits that I want to do. I'll show you. So I'm going to click on my all day. So I've got things like drinking water, oil pulling, because I do oil pulling, like I pull coconut oil through my teeth. It's weird. Do some activity, do my breathe journal, do my gratitude meditation. And literally, if I haven't done it that morning, I will sit there and I'll make time to be able to do that. It tells me reminders, it bugs me all the time. You got to do this, you got to do this. And then I'm like, okay, I'll take 10 minutes and I'll do that. So that's what I do personally. And that's how I keep my habits. I use that app called Productive. So I think we are pretty much done here, because I'm going to cut off from Crowdcast anyway. So I wanted to say a big thank you to you guys for coming, for joining me. I love doing these webinars with you. As always, we're going to have another one next month. And obviously we're going to have new content that we're going to teach and new things to offer as well. So Celine, thank you so much. Karen, thank you. Lauren, thank you. Definitely look for that, guys, because it's definitely what keeps me on track. I'm loving the fact that you are still here. Thank you so much for joining me to the end. I will see you inside the 0 to 6 program. If you're not already there, I'll see you. Hopefully you'll join and I'll see you there. Or if you are already there, I'll see you on the next call. For those of you who are on my boutique website workshop, we've got our lesson in half an hour, and I'll see you guys there on that. And for the rest of you, just answer those questions, stick to it. You are going to achieve this. You have to just simply step into the person that is the successful person that you need to be. Start looking at habits and behaviors of other successful people and step in and be that person who you need to be. So thank you so much. And I will see you on the next call. Cheryl says, thank you so much. Need to figure out which business too. Cheryl, I can help you with that. If you want to write into support and you want a little bit of free support and guidance on that, that's absolutely fine too. So Marie, thank you. See you at the beach, Marie. I'm going to actually be going there tomorrow as well. So guys, thank you so much. I'm going to close this off now. Love you. See you next month, hopefully. Or if you're already in my training, I'll see you inside our calls and our one-on-one sessions. Lovely to have you here. Take care, guys, and goodbye.